Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
I am going 6-0 in the division because the rest of the division sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori.
Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Hour, we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We crossing topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Hour. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Man Hour. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Hour. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Because you listen to the Man Hour.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page, and of course, check out the blog section as well. I'm going to give you guys a normal opening in a little bit, but let's just go ahead and bring the boys on the screen real quick here, guys. And
What?
I've been kind of hiding that under the rug here for like a little bit. What's your guys' raw reaction of the new intro?
Dude, that is fire. I like
is
that.
Straight fire right there.
Yeah. So
Your boy nailed it.
yeah, so Nino sent me that. Shoot, what was that? I think it was no, I was in New Orleans still, so it had been Tuesday when he sent me that, and I'm like, man, I was playing it the whole way home. Sandy got sick of it, boys. It was just like, I was like, sorry, honey, like it kind of gets me in the zone. It's ready for me to get back. So, Combs, what do you like about it?
Dude, that beat is freaking amazing. I just sit here listening to it and I'm like, all right, okay. And then he started flowing on it and I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, no, everything about that is fucking, just dropped an F-bomb. Just dropped an F-bomb. No, man,
Uncut.
that's unreal.
Tori, thoughts?
I love it. I like the little, like, creepy little dee 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 in the background. It fits with that beat like perfect. That's what like gets me with that whole beat. Like, Dre's got nothing on him, man.
Dre. 2002 just called Tori. Who the fuck is Dre? Oh, it's F-bomb here too. My bad. Sorry, guys.
We just going all over the place. We come back from vacation and we just start cussing.
Yeah, fuck it. No. All right, boys. So, everybody, welcome back. We are Man Hour. Obviously, we have been on week vacation, and we are going to take some time to kind of get back into that groove. But tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about Tom Brady, some Dak Prescott. We're going to sprinkle in some NBA Finals in there, and of course, we're going to talk some baseball cheating scandal as well. Of course, we got the What's Us tonight, and then Way or No Way. But I'm going to kick it to Brandon Combs first. Combsy, what did you do on your week off, man?
I worked, and I worked some more, and then I worked some more. But no, and then we had Father's Day weekend and had a good time with the family until tornado sirens woke us up last night at like 11 o'clock, and we spent about an hour and a half in the basement, and then I had to wake back up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go back to work. So
welcome to the Midwest, Holmes.
that's about how it went. But in all seriousness, so I hope that everybody who is in Woodbridge, Illinois, is safe, and hopefully there's not too many fatalities once they figure out all the rubble and stuff.
Right. So not to get too caught off track, Combs. I was looking at your hat. Does your hat have sunglasses on a hat on there?
It does. It's the spring training Arizona Cubs hat. So it does, yeah. It's not on a hat. It's sunglasses on the sun.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
That's dumb,
cool.
just like the Cubs.
Dumb, just like the Cubs. Well, I think you're just mad because we took a week off. The Cubs got their butts whooped all week long, and the Brewers still found themselves not in first place by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tori, what did you do on your week off, buddy?
See, unlike you, who was just slacking off, gallivanting around the country, some of us have real jobs to do.
True.
Yeah.
And then actually, I had an interview, and as we discussed pre-show, I will be switching careers at the end of July.
There you go. Very exciting stuff for Tori there. So he is switching careers. I am not switching careers. I'll probably be IT for the rest of my life. And the reason why we started late show is because the IT guy's computer broke right before the show. So I am on like my backup computer, and I am so like dysfunctional right now. Like I'm used to operating on like five screens, and I'm on like this 12-inch laptop right now, and it kind of makes me feel weird a little bit. But I went on vacation. I went to the Big Easy. I saw the Katrina Memorial and got really, really drunk and hunted some ghosts and whatnot. And then we went to Tennessee and got really, really drunk.
Whoa! You can't just skip over. Hunted ghosts?
Yeah, you isn't New Orleans like the most haunted city in like America or something?
It's there.
Yeah, I guess if you. Yeah, I guess. I mean, but wait. So what do you mean you hunted ghosts? Like
they give us like a little with the EMF detector thing, and we go to like these cemeteries. Like first of all, like the above ground cemeteries. First of all, those are freaking cool. You guys should go if you ever get a chance. But we get chance and
so you were like ghost hunters on the Sci-Fi Network. You were like just walking around seeing if you could see stuff on EMF, and then if your EMF went off because there was a magnet in the ground or something, you pretended like something scared you, or were you actually like looking for ghosts?
We're actually looking for ghosts and like taking.
Did you find any?
No, we didn't see anything. The whole EMF detector, like it went off like twice, but they said a cell phone could sometimes trigger it or something. I don't know, but yeah, we didn't see anything.
There, you probably saw Madame Laveau. You picked her up on the EMF, and you just like, it's a cell phone.
We actually didn't go to her gravesite, but there is so we stayed on a hotel right there on the main street, and then there's a mansion like right behind our hotel. There was 52 people found in the second floor of this place, and like on the third floor there's like they had people like chained up, and they would like carve them up and stuff like that. I forget their names.
What the hell?
Yeah, but yeah. So if you ever watched American Horror Story, that mansion. Yeah. That's what the Covenant season was based off of that mansion.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And Nicolas Cage actually bought it for like $15 million, and he couldn't stay one night in there because he was so freaked out, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, so you stayed there? Like, were you able to?
No. Like, our hotel was like catty corner from that place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear like weird noises and stuff at night? Chains clinking?
No, I was so drunk, dude. Honestly.
Oh.
He heard his head hit the pillow and pass out. That was it.
Yeah.
He's like, chains were clinking, but that was handcuffs on the headboard.
It was my anniversary, so you guys know how it is there. Speaking of clinking chains, some Las Vegas Raider lineman just come out and said that he was like he was gay. Tori, what is the guy's name? His name's slipping my mind.
Carl
Nassib.
How do you guys feel about that?
Well, now that you're ruining one of the way or no ways.
Oh my.
Oh, God. This guy.
Buck coming back and screwing things up right away.
Like when you go off script, you screw stuff up. Stay on script. Stay with the stuff that we said we're going to talk about, because chances are, if I want raw reaction, I'm going with stuff that's not on the rundown in the way or no ways.
All right.
God.
So we do got way or no way coming up at 8:45 East Coast time here, but we are going to take a quick little break, guys. On the other side of the break, we are not going to talk about gay guys. We are going to talk. We're
going to talk to gay guys. Buck.
Demonetized.
Exactly. We are going to talk a little bit about Tom Brady, Kyle Trash, and the NBA Finals as well. So, guys, sit back and relax. We'll be right back after this short little break. Man, we need to get back in the groove, boys.
I'm in the groove. I don't know where you're at.
We'll be back.
3 F-bombs.
back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson tonight. If you guys would be most inclined, hit that like button, hit the share button as well. We've taken a week off, so we got to play some catch up here. So we are going to talk a little bit about Tom Brady, of course, because, this is NFL season. Of course, Major League Baseball season a lot as well. But NFL training camps are starting up here in the next month or so. So it is time to talk about the GOAT, Tom Brady. Tom Brady was asked a question, Tori, that can he play till the age of 50? Tom Brady come out and replied saying that his goal was always to play till the age of 45, and right now he is 43. He turns 44 in August, and he has a 2-year contract, getting him up to his 45th birthday. With that being said, do you think Tom Brady can play till the age of 50?
No. I don't know if he's going to try to, who is it? Julio Franco played till he was, 47 in baseball. Bartolo Colon was 48, wasn't he? I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon. I think he played till he was 48 in baseball.
Yeah. And so did, God, his name's going to escape me now.
Henderson?
Pitched for the Phillies.
Oh.
God. What the heck was his name? Just keep going. I'll remember his name, and then I'll shout it out while you're talking.
So I don't to play until you're 50 in the NFL. No way. Just because the Major League Baseball is one thing, especially if you're a pitcher. To me, the Julio Franco was more impressive that he played until 47. But football to play into 45 is already impressive enough. I remember when Warren Moon was still playing when he was 41 or 42, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, he's a 40-year-old quarterback in the NFL still," and he was still a productive quarterback then. But the NFL is a lot tougher on your body. There's a lot more injuries. There's a lot more factors that go into it because it is such a rough sport on your body. There again, at what point, I don't know if I'd want to play till I'm 50 anyways. I start getting worried about CT starting to affect me while I'm still playing. So I don't think he goes to 50. I think he goes to 45. I think honestly, if they go out
Jamie
and
Moyer
this year, Jamie Moyer, who pitched for every team in the NFL or the MLB. But I don't think he plays till 50. I think he could play till to 45. He could talk all he wants, but I think he hangs up after he hits 45, or if he goes back to back this year.
Combs, what about you? And it looks like Combs is frozen on us, Tori.
Combs is just
Are you back there, Combsy, or what's going on there?
I don't know. But what happened with your Chiefs there, buddy? Frank Clark was arrested in Los Angeles.
Yeah, we will talk about that later. But let's get back to Tom Brady here. 9 times out of 10, your body doesn't fail on you in the NFL. Tori, it is the preparation to get ready for Sunday. Is like your mind starts to go before your body starts to go. And when people say that Tom Brady can play till the age of 40 or till the age of 50, I don't think he wants to mentally prepare at the age of 48, 49 for an NFL game, because it's just it is taxing on the body, and just you have to wake up at 6 a.m. You have to because he has that strenuous stuff that he does, all of that acupuncture and all his protein shakes that he drinks and everything else, and it's just I think if they go back to back this year, he will hang it up on the high note, winning back to back Super Bowls with the Bucks, and he will just ride off into the sunset. Even if he don't and they make it to the Super Bowl, I think that hunger is going to be out of him, just because you are seeing Tom Brady now for the first time ever, talk beyond his career.
Right.
You're talking he is talking oh, I'm going to hang him up in this year or that year. Yada yada yada. So Combs, welcome back to the show. Do you think Tom Brady's going to play past the age of 50?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. He's going to outlast my my internet and my electric company at this point. But yeah, he I don't know if he plays till he's 50. I think he could. I mean, the guy's in such great physical shape. He doesn't take very many hits. So I think he could. I don't know if he will though.
It's the mind.
Yeah, and how old is he now? He's 43, right? Going to be 44.
He'll be 44 at the start of the season.
Yeah, so I think maybe 45 is about the limit, to be honest with you. I mean, if he wins another 2 Super Bowls, though, like, does he go out on top or does he just keep playing and hang on to? Can you imagine him playing until he's 50? I don't think it happens, but I just, and it's not just because he can't. I think physically he probably could. I just don't think, why would he want to?
So, with that, so I watched a thing a couple of months ago. There was something too about like the amount of quarterbacks playing into their 40s these days, and somebody was like, I can't remember who it was. It said, "Well, I think this is just a phase, given that the quarterback." I don't think it is. I think you're going to see a lot more guys start playing into that age range.
Yeah.
Because of like the changes in diet, the nutrition, everything that people have learned about like how to take care of their body. You're gonna see a lot more of these guys starting to play longer and longer into their career like that. I just don't. I think 50's pushed it. 45 is pushing it, but there again, if he's still winning and he's not getting hit, if his jersey's not getting dirty, he's probably going to keep playing.
That's
Unless,
the biggest
like I said,
key. There is like now you can't like you can breathe on the quarterback wrong and you're getting a personal foul on you.
Yeah,
So,
I already believe that he should have rode off into the sunset after this last Super Bowl. But if they win again this season, like there's just nothing left for him to prove. There's already nothing left for him to prove, but at that point there's really nothing left for him to prove. Like what at that point it's almost the point, let somebody else play. Oh, okay, Bobby, it's time to let the other kids play now.
So let me ask you this: like, let's say the Bucks have like a 8-9 season and they miss the playoffs. Does the Tom Brady legacy start to get tarnished? Like, hey, he should have hung him up like this past year, or do you think we'll still let Tom Brady do what Tom Brady does?
If they have an 8-9 season, I think it's the opposite. If they have an 8-9 season, I'm putting all my money that I've ever saved up in my entire life on the Bucks to go 19 or 20 or 21-0 the following season, because he's going to be so mad. There's no way he's retiring after a season like that.
You don't think so?
I don't think that there's any chance they go 8-9 though. Like I just think that's a far fetched.
He's got that Kobe mentality though. He's got that. I have to be the best. I have to go out and destroy everybody, because if they do, they're like they said, like Wyatt was saying about he doesn't even let the backups take any practice reps. It's because I'm not going to let it up so somebody can take my job. That's his mentality, 24/7, 365.
So it is perfect that you brought up the backup taking reps, because the Bucks did draft a quarterback in Kyle Trask that needs a lot of reps to be ready to play in the NFL. Do you think with the Bucks drafting Kyle Trask that Tom Brady knows that his time is shortened there in Bucks and like he wants to like pass on his mindset to the next guy, or do you think just drafting Kyle Trask was a waste because he's not going to get any reps and he's going to be basically a first-year player when he steps on the field?
So I think it's the Brett Favre thing. If Brady stays, you develop him, you trade him. The Packers did that for years with quarterbacks. At one point I think they had 7 backups that were playing in the league that had backed up Brett Favre at one point. So, the Packers just used to draft a quarterback. They're like, we'll develop him and get rid of him. And that's what they did. And I think that's kind of the mentality. If they need him, they got him to play. If they don't, they could turn around and be like, okay, we could showcase him during spring, not spring training, but during the preseason. And, then we can turn around and deal him. How many backup quarterbacks get dealt because they had a stellar preseason? It happens a lot in this league.
Well, the Packers should know all about that. Matt Flynn comes to mind, So,
Matt Hasselbeck, Aaron Brooks, Ty Detmer, Doug Peterson, Mark.
But
Brunell.
how many of these Brett Favre or Tom Brady backups have been successful after they've left, though? I mean,
Kurt Warner had a pretty good career.
Kurt Warner is one, but he also came from being a grocery boy. He didn't come from being the backup. He came from being the grocery boy.
He was on the Packers roster, and then he got cut.
Yeah, but that's what like. It's very few and far between that any of these that any of these guys go out there
Hasselbeck won a
and
Super Bowl.
No, he didn't. Hasselbeck didn't win when he got
Hasselbeck
one.
didn't win one.
Didn't they win one with the Seahawks?
No, Seahawks won one with Russell Wilson. They lost one when they had.
Well,
they
Hasselbeck
lost
might have
the-
been their backup.
Oh no,
No.
I remember it. He's like they flipped it in like overtime. He's like, it is heads and we want the ball and we're
Yeah.
gonna score.
And we're gonna
against the
score.
Packers. That was against the Packers,
That's
and then he threw,
Yeah.
and
That's
he
right.
did the first pass he threw. The Packers
Yep.
picked it off and ran it back.
Yeah, he was
So-
right.
I mean, technically, he's right.
So let me ask you this question here: with Kyle Trask in there taking, learning from Tom Brady, hopefully taking some reps as a backup quarterback, and the Bucks team that they have rostered right now, are we looking at a possible dynasty in the making right there in Tampa Bay, Combs?
Possibly. I'll say possibly, just because a lot of the guys that came into this team to bring this team to where they got to last year are older players. Tom Brady went and called some of his friends and said, hey, let's go play ball. We're going to play with some of these new kids, and we're going to show them how to win. I don't know that Tom Brady is going to be helpful in developing Kyle Trask, because he has never. That's the one thing that I will say bad about Tom Brady, is that he's never shown the willingness to bring along a younger quarterback. Right. And I get it to a point, but at the same time, it's also part of being a leader and showing, the new guy the ropes, and eventually you are going to be gone. So at some point, don't you want to leave a legacy? How about if you bring along Kyle Trask for the next 2 seasons, then you ride off into the sunset, and then Kyle Trask goes on to win 4 or 5 Super Bowls with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, and now your legacy gets even greater because this is a kid who learned under Tom Brady and then went on to win multiple Super Bowls. So I don't understand his mentality in that. I don't know that Kyle Trask has that in him, though. I think Kyle Trask is going to be a successful NFL quarterback as far as he'll be a winning quarterback in the league. But I don't know that he's got that, I'm going to win multiple Super Bowls in him, especially with the quarterbacks that are coming along now. I do believe he's going to be one of the better value picks with where he got taken in the NFL draft. But I don't know that he can. I don't know that he can be a successor and lead a dynasty the way some of these other quarterbacks could.
So, Tori, does Kyle Trask win a Super Bowl?
No, I don't think he does. Again, look at this team. What is this team built on? This team's built on Tom Brady being the quarterback.
Right.
And what happens when Tom Brady's gone? And it happens with every team. It doesn't matter. Eventually, you're going to run into those salary cap issues. And all of a sudden, you got guys that, hey, I won a couple of Super Bowls. I'm going to go play for the Jets because, yeah, we may win 4 games, but they just paid me $35 million guaranteed. Right. What do I care? I've already got 2. It happens to every team. And as soon as you lose that Tom Brady factor, you're going to run into that wall a lot quicker because guys aren't going to be like, well, I know I'm probably going to make a Super Bowl or win one.
I don't know that I don't know that team wins the Super Bowl last year without Tom Brady. I think you give them any other quarterback in the league, maybe. Yeah, even if you give them Aaron Rodgers, I don't know that they win the Super Bowl because Aaron Rodgers has shown time and time again that he can't get past the NFC title game. So, without Aaron Rodgers, maybe the Packers win the Super Bowl last year.
I don't think without any other quarterback besides Tom Brady after that first half of the season when they're like a 500 team, I don't think they turn the corner. I think they are a 500 team for the rest of the year.
Oh. Yeah,
that's the veteran presence at that point. It's the veteran presence, the veteran leadership, and him doing his golly gee willikers. Guys, get your head out of your butt. It's time to kick some butt.
No, it's the Tom.
I don't know, man. If you heard the way he's been talking lately, did you hear about that interview where they asked him about all the people that passed on him? And he's like, yeah, there were some teams. I was like, really? You're going to stick with that MFer?
Yeah, so, no, that was a team that was interested in him and at the end pulled out. And the best comment I saw was must have been the Bears.
Yeah, that's actually what I've heard rumors on is that it actually was the Bears that he was talking about because he was interested in coming to Chicago, but they said they were sticking with Mitch Trubisky.
which is mean
It-
he led
it-
them to the playoffs twice.
That would be par for the course if that's was the Bears' answers. If the Bears said, "Yeah, no," Ryan Pace in the meeting is like, "No, you know, I think we're good." Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time. We've got Mitch. I want to punch him in the face so much.
So speaking of we got Mitch, Kansas City Chiefs Frank Clark. I'm going to go off a little bit off script here, Combs, because Tori brought it up when you froze here. But Frank Clark was arrested for an illegal firearm when he was pulled over in his Lamborghini SUV this afternoon. So at
I didn't even know
9:28,
Lamborghini made
Whoa,
an SUV.
whoa, yeah, wait. A Lamborghini SUV?
yeah.
What?
I don't even know what this would look like.
Well,
I-
let's not even worry about that. Let's worry about that he had a Uzi inside an unzipped duffel bag in his car while driving in California. He was
it is
arrested,
California.
and he was arrested and put in jail, but set bond for $35,000 shortly after. Guys,
You've got the only Lamborghini SUV in the world. You can have whatever you want inside of it. I don't even care.
do the Chiefs cut ties with Frank Clark even after he just signed a 5-year, $104 million deal?
No, there's too much money in dead cap space. The thing is, though, if it's registered, we don't know if it was registered or not. You know, because different.
Can you
states
have a
different
registered
laws.
Uzi?
I don't think so.
Probably not, but
It's a submachine gun, man.
when you're rich, the laws really don't apply to you. So they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we'll give you a fine unless you're Darren Sharper.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
and
God.
kind of along that lines too. A little while ago, a defensive tackle from the Vikings was shot in Washington D.C. 4 times. Like all this NFL stuff, like from the time we're like, okay, we're gonna talk about Brady. All of a sudden it was like Nasib comes out that he's gay. We have Frank Clark get arrested. We have the Vikings rookie get shot. I'm like, man, we got straight tons of NFL talk, but I don't know. I don't think the laws apply that to Frank Clark. I'm guessing he gets away with a slap on the wrist because there again, money talks at some point, and it is he could be like, I don't know, I was afraid of getting carjacked on the 110 or something.
You know, Drew always comes through in a pinch. I just got a photo from Drew. It's a Lamborghini SUV. Drew, this thing is absolutely ridiculous. It still doesn't look like an SUV. It just looks like a souped up Lamborghini with like big tires.
So it's a 4-door Lamborghini. What it comes down to.
Yeah,
Does
it doesn't
does
even
it
look
have
like
the
it's 4
engine?
doors, does it?
Does it have
Yeah, I
an engine
guess
in
it
the
does.
back too?
I don't know. I'm blown away. I'm still stuck. I don't care that he had an Uzi. I don't care. He probably could have went and shot 30 people. I'd still be amazed that he had a Lamborghini SUV to get away in.
Right. So we went from nobody cares about the Uzi. Let's talk about his SUV because we didn't know Lamborghini made one. You know what? That's because we are poor peasants.
Guys, it would not surprise me one bit if the Kansas City Chiefs cut ties with Frank Clark after this.
There's no way.
There's too much dead cap
Yeah.
space money. They will not do it. They will let the NFL suspend him.
Well, if the NFL, I think there's a clause in every contract that if you get suspended for something illegal, you can get out of the contract. And plus, it's the NFL. Nothing's guaranteed anyway, right?
Unless you're Carson Wentz.
Then you're guaranteed to suck.
Guaranteed to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL this season.
Oh my God! You think Andy Dalton's a top 15?
I thought you
quarterback?
said Carson Wentz, not Jameis Winston.
Oh, I mean, he's top 5, right?
Top 3.
You both
Alright,
are
guys.
smoking crack on.
We
break,
are
I
going
think.
to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we got Way or No Way. So Combs, tell what people what Way or No Way is all about.
Way or No Way is just a game that everybody loves, and we just come up with topics. Well, I come up with topics, and the guys give me their opinion whether it's a way or a no way, and I guarantee you we will have some fun with this one. Stay with us.
We'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned.
And welcome back to the Man Hour. Man Hour Nation, it is time for Way or No Way. This segment is open for sponsorship, so if you or anybody you know is looking to get their name out there and sponsor a segment on the Man Hour, hit me up at manhour_combs. Oh, no, wrong one. That's Brandon.combs at manhourradio.com. You can hit me up at manhour_combs too if you want. I mean, either way, it's fine with me. But yeah, we can get you hooked up with some sponsorship. So, boys, are you guys ready for some Way or No Way?
I'm ready to be pimping it up here.
Stupid.
Yes, way.
All right, guys. So Shohei Ohtani is having himself a little season here. Leads the league with 23 home runs. Also is in, I believe, the top 5 in ERA in the American League. Unheard of in Major League Baseball. So I'll ask you guys this. Shohei Ohtani will win a Cy Young and an MVP in the same season at some point in his career.
So, not that hasn't been done before. Are you talking about Cy Young as a pitcher and winning the MVP as a hitter?
Yes.
That would be amazing if that's the way that they voted it. Because, yes, I think that 100%, the way he is playing ball this year, I 100% think that could happen. The guy is tearing the cover off the ball. He's looking like he never had Tommy John. And there again, it takes like a year to come back from that. He's 18 months, 19 months past it now. So I 100% think, yes, he could do it. I think it'd be amazing to see.
And then I'm going to go absolutely no way on this simply because of the fact that, for one, I don't think Major League Baseball writers, just because we've seen them like how much they skew the Hall of Fame thing. So I don't think they will allow somebody to win both a Cy Young and an MVP in a same season at two different spots. And with that being said, yes, Ohtani is ripping the cover off of the ball, but as a pitcher, he is kind of a middle of the pack. I mean, yes, he is a top 10 pitcher. Like, don't get that twisted. But he is running into some great talent. Let's look at Jake DeGrom. I mean, he has a .5 ERA in his last 12 starts. Absolutely unheard of. So I don't think Ohtani will ever win both, but he will win one of them for sure.
Shohei Ohtani pitches in the American League. Jacob DeGrom pitches in the National League.
I was just giving some.
They can both win a Cy Young this year.
You are right, but it is not going to happen.
I love talking baseball with you. I really do. No, look, I think that at some point he'll win a Cy Young and at some point he'll win an MVP. I don't think they'll ever vote for him to do it in the same season at different positions. I don't think that there is anything that the voters will do to give him both in the same season, just because that's just not what they do in baseball. It's the same reason why they've only voted one person unanimously in the Hall of Fame, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of too. So no, I don't think he'll ever win it in the same season, but I do think at some point he'll win an MVP and at some point he'll win a Cy Young, and that in itself is amazing.
So I just want to go for the record here that Combs agreed with me of everything that I just said as he just dogged my baseball talk. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I just dogged the fact that you didn't think that he could win Cy Young because Jacob DeGrom, who's in the other league, is doing better.
I was just throwing numbers out.
No way. Yes, way.
All right. So we had some news today come out. And speaking of coming out, Carl Nassib has announced of the Oakland Raiders that he is gay. So I ask you guys this. That announcement makes this a great day for the NFL.
I don't know if it makes it a great day. This is 2021. Most people could give a crap if you're gay, bisexual, pansexual, sapiosexual, transsexual, like you name it. Nobody cares anymore. It's just like, whatever, do your thing. Like, I think it's good because he's the first active player in the NFL. And so it'll be interesting to see the reaction from his teammates once the season starts rolling. Are they going to blackball him? Is there going to be what they would consider to be a toxic masculinity type scenario of like, oh my god, he's gay, he's checking out my junk. Like, you were perfectly fine with him the first couple of times, so whatever. So I don't think it's big. I'm really glad to see that he did it because he is an active NFL player. He's actually a pretty good NFL player. So for him to actually have a little bit of a name behind him to come out and do it says a lot for like what's going on for like the LGBTQ community.
Oh, Tori, you and your politically correct answers there. So with that being said, I actively
and demonetized.
I actively played football with somebody that we all kind of speculated that was gay, even though he never officially come out and said it.
It was Buck.
Later down the line, we are Facebook friends, and now he is now a female. So I'm not for sure how that works, but he went from a man being a very masculine man on the football field. Now he's a very masculine female. So honestly, who freaking cares anymore? Like, maybe back in like 1960 when like, what is gay? You like guys or you can like girls? That's just weird. Like maybe back then like it mattered. But now, like, I feel like he's just trying to get some type of traction behind his name. Look at Brittany Griner when she came out and said she was a lesbian. We're like, yeah, we knew when you were in at Baylor. So like, it doesn't matter. Like, nobody cares, honestly.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I can't wait until stories like this that people no longer really have to come out and tell you who they're sleeping with, because I really don't care who you're sleeping with. It doesn't matter to me if you're gay, straight, bisexual, whatever type of sexual, because there's like 95 different types now. I don't care what your sexuality is. It's your decision. Like, I respect your decision to do whatever you want with your sexuality. It's funny because somebody asked me about, is this a big deal? Is this a big deal? No, the reason why it's a big deal is because it's 2021. Okay. Were there gay people in the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s, even before that, going way back to however long Earth has been a thing? Of course there has been. Has there been trans people who felt they were a different gender and were in the wrong type of... Of course there has been. The only difference is now is that it's 2021 and everybody feels like they want to share that with people. And again, I posted on my Facebook. It took this guy... It was incredibly strong for him to do this. It took a lot of guts for him to do this because of the world that he is involved with the NFL. And you do know that, like Tori said, there is going to be some toxic masculinity where there's going to be that guy in the locker room that says, I don't want that guy anywhere near me. I don't want his locker near mine. Or, I don't want to be blocked by him, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. And there's going to be slurs on the field. There is. It's part of the world that he lives in right now. And while I don't agree with that, it's just something that's going to happen, and now he's going to have to deal with it. But that's why, to me, it showed incredible strength, so I'm with him there. But I just don't, we're in 2021. So I don't care what you do with your sexuality. That is your right. That is your decision. But at the same time, I don't feel the need that we have to go preach it to everybody. It's your right to be that way. It's my right to be my way with my sexuality. And it's Buck's right to be his way with his sexuality. And it's Tori's right to be his way with his sexuality. And Buck swings like 19 different ways. So
17.
Oh, 17.
There's a reason they call him Sev.
Yes, a Seth. But I want to get in like Holmes, like I kind of want to have a discussion about just a tad bit. And like, I've been around people that are gay and they've hid it for so long that once they finally come out, their life is a lot easier, and they have massive success just because they're not trying to be something that they're not. So I wonder, if you just like if the pressure of hiding things was starting to take a toll on him, and we might see his career go through the roof and like be that next $100 million like offensive like guard.
Yeah, and you know what? That it might be. It's probably a huge weight off their shoulders when somebody comes out. Because it's incredibly hard. We've created a society where certain things are accepted and certain things aren't. But I also think that we've actually come to a place where if you didn't announce it, nobody nobody anywhere would have cared. Like nobody, like you could have done whatever you wanted to do instead of announcing it. Just do your thing, because nobody's asking you what your sexual orientation is. Nobody's asking you who you're taking home at night. Nobody's asking you what you're doing with this. It's just you felt the need to get it off your chest, and you wanted to get it off your chest, and it's perfectly fine. But it would have been a non-story even if you didn't. So for me, it's one of those things where, great, you said it, you came out, doesn't change a thing. You're still an NFL player. You're still a very good NFL player. You're still going to do your job. You're still going to go to work every day. But now for you, I think you actually created yourself a more hostile environment than you had before you came out. And you still could have lived your life without doing it. Granted, you shouldn't have to hide who you are. So again, it's one of those where I'm just, either way it goes, it is what it is. Just do you. Be yourself.
Right. And it would not surprise me in the next week or two we have 3 or 4 or 5 more guys come out and do the same thing.
Yeah.
I think wait till training camp. They're going to want to see how he gets perceived and how things start rolling in training camp. I think after, I would say August, September time frame, if everything kind of blows over and it kind of rolls, there's going to be a lot of guys that may come out. So I don't know if you remember Ezra Tual.
Aaron Rodgers is next.
I did hear that story.
That's been, you could almost say that with almost every, like Don Majkowski, like the big rumor, like back in the 80s and early 90s was Don Majkowski was dating the weatherman at the Green Bay Weather Channel, Brad Spackowitz. So like that's just an age old. It's like whatever quarterback comes to Green Bay, except for Favre, because if it had 2 legs, some breasts, and a vagina, he was banging it. And that's all fact right there, because he got caught many times cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
But
wow. I feel like we need a drink here, Combs. This is coming at Packers segment real quick.
So Ezra Tuaolo was a player in the 90s that after he got done in the league, talked about how he was a gay player. So he hit it when he was in the league. And you guys were talking about like how it's a pressure relieved from you, and it's true, because he talks about like how he wanted to kill himself because he didn't feel like being a gay man in the NFL. He didn't feel he fit, and like how much pressure it had on him, how much it
But
wore
see, that
on
just
him.
goes back to mentality, though. I mean, it's the same thing. It was the same thing in the military. Okay, they always had the thing. And you've heard this story. Don't ask, don't tell. Okay.
Yeah.
But
welcome to Clinton. Welcome to Clinton's army. Don't
right.
ask, don't tell.
But it's one of those things where, you can live your life and nobody's gonna say nothing. You just live your life. Like for me, I don't feel like every move that I make or everything that I do needs to be broadcast. If you look at my Facebook page, you see pictures of my kids, and all my posts are about sports. Like I don't broadcast my life. I don't broadcast when I'm doing this or broadcast when I'm doing that. I do me no matter what. And if anybody who likes it, great. You come with me on the ride. Anybody who doesn't, I don't need you with me anyway. And if this guy's got that mentality of this isn't going to faze him, he's going to face some stuff on the field where people are going to say some stuff, and he's either A, going to wilt, or B, he's going to give it back to him. There's going to be a player lined up across from him, and they're going to be like, hey, S my D. And he's going to be like, I will? So you play mind games. You can play the mind games back. It's all about mentality.
I agree 110% with you. The thing is, somebody throws it at you. If he throws it back, and he's like,
we're never getting on the radio.
No, but then again, at that point, you're not really talking smack. You are defending who you are at that point. Somebody wants to talk smack and you can defend your position, do it. I don't care. And there again, to me, that gives him the psychological advantage over that person because that person is insecure with themselves.
100%.
Oh my God, like if he touches me, am I going to be gay? Crap like that. That like
use the
homophobia.
Use the homophobic mentality to your advantage. Screw with that guy as much as you can because you know what? That idiot deserves it.
Yep. All right, let's go and move on to the next one, Combs.
No way.
By the way, we are on Big X Sports Radio every Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m.
Not no more.
Not after tomorrow.
Anyway, moving on to the next one. There's been a lot of talk here in Chicago about the Bears moving out of Chicago. They actually put a bid in to buy the dog track or the horse track out here. And so I ask you guys this: if the Bears move to Arlington Heights instead of Chicago, it'll be a disaster for the NFL.
No way. Because a lot of teams are like, the San Francisco 49ers don't play in San Francisco. They play in Santa Clara. The old Pontiac Silverdome wasn't in Detroit. It was in Auburn Hills.
The New York football teams.
Yeah, both play in New Jersey. I don't think it affects it that much because it's all about location. Then at that point, there again, the Silverdome was old and decrepit, so they got out and then they built a beautiful new field in Ford Field. It's all about changing that location into an area that is going to let your stadium be successful. A place that is going to be accessible for your fans to get there. Like if you're in downtown Chicago trying to get to Soldier Field, traffic is murder trying to get out of that game. You're going to be sitting there for a couple hours. Arlington Heights, a little bit further out, it's going to disperse a little bit more different ways. It's going to ease up traffic. It's literally all about location for me with this. I don't think it hurts them at all. I think it honestly helps them as a franchise.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with Tori on this. because do I really want to go to downtown Chicago to watch a football game right now? Hell no, I don't. Just because we have every day here in Louisville, there's a shooting, yes, but it seems like every day in Chicago there's massive killings, from South City to the north side, and I'm looking at the map right here, Combs. Arlington Heights only looks about a 30-minute drive from the Soldier Field, just right now, anyways. So what is the big deal? Why not build a new field, make it a state-of-the-art stadium, and make it must see the Vegas Stadium, the Rams Stadium, and the Cowboys Stadium?
I'm going to say this as clearly as I can. Please move to Arlington Heights. Please build a new stadium. Please bring us a dang Super Bowl. Please do whatever you've got to do to get this stadium done. They want to build a retractable dome stadium. They want to make it so they can host the Final Four. They want to make it so they can host the Super Bowl. They want to make it so that they can, host all of these other events in an enclosed stadium. If the Chicago Bears get a retractable roof stadium and start playing indoors in the wintertime, I will actually try to go to some NFL games instead of watching them on TV. Because I'm not going to freeze my butt off at Soldier Field, where it's going to take me 5 hours to get through traffic just to get to and from the game. I'm not doing it. So please, 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 whatever you got to do, move to Arlington Heights.
No way. Yes way.
All right, guys. So last one here. Jacob deGrom has been leaving some starts early. A lot of speculation that he might need a second Tommy John surgery. And so I ask you guys this. If Jacob deGrom can't stay healthy, and I know he went out and pitched today, if he can't stay healthy, if he does end up needing another surgery, Jacob deGrom will go down as the greatest what-if player of all time.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I'm going to have to go with no way because he's had a couple of dominant seasons already. People know
4 in a row. This is a Bob Gibson type run.
Right. So I'm going to go with no way on that because there's an established pattern. Like, for me, if it's going to be a what if, it's a guy that flashes for a couple of games and like, oh, this is it, and he gets hurt, and it happens consistently every year after year, and you never really get to see the full spectacle of it. We've got to see the full spectacle of what Jacob deGrom can do over the course of an entire season. So I'm going to go with no way, hands down on that one, because I believe he's still got more RBIs on the season. He's given up earned runs.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
that is absolutely ridiculous. But Combs, like, I'm looking at his stats here. So since 2014 was his rookie year, he won the Rookie of the Year. His ERA was 2.69 that particular season, and then 2.54, 3.0. His highest ERA, 3.53, and he won the Cy Young Award that particular season. So far this year, Combs, he has a .54 ERA, and he is on pace for his fifth straight Cy Young Award, or fifth straight Cy Young Award. He has a Hall of Fame career in just 8 years in the major leagues. There is no way he is going to be a what-if player, even if he only plays 8 or 9 years. I mean, he has already stapled he is on his way to Cooperstown, Combs.
Yeah, look, I don't know if he's already on his way to Cooperstown. I do know that Jacob deGrom, if he ends up getting hurt and can't finish the season, man, like, I really want to. I mean, the gold standard in pitching is that Bob Gibson 1.12 ERA, and nobody's been able to top that in a complete full season. And I think that Jacob deGrom can do it. The fact that he's driven in more runs than he's given up and has 2 losses is absurd. The New York Mets have 2 losses when Jacob deGrom pitches, and he hasn't even allowed a full earned run average. Like, I don't know how more plain and simple I can make that. No, I don't think he'll be the greatest what-if player of all time. I think that will always be Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson will be the greatest what-if. What if he stayed healthy? What if he could have done that? I think he could have been a greatest of all time in 2 sports if he stayed healthy.
Wow.
And so I don't think Jacob deGrom will go down as the greatest what-if player of all time, but this might be the greatest what-if season of all time if he can't finish it.
Tori, who is your greatest what-if player of all time?
It's not really a what if. Like, are we going any sport?
Yeah, any
Or
sport.
are we sticking to baseball? So
sport.
if we're gonna go any sport, I'm gonna go off a little off key on this one, and for me it would be Eric Lindros from the Philadelphia Flyers. That man was like the perfect NHL prospect coming out and could never stay healthy. That guy,
He was a
like,
Lindros.
yeah, and he had 8 million concussions, was always hurt. Like, he never fulfilled his
because he
potential.
played with his vagina.
Come on,
But,
I'm gonna
yeah, no.
edit so much of the show now.
Right? But the thing is, I was like, and you remember, like, Eric Daze. Eric Daze was the same way. Eric Daze had all the potential in the world and could
And he
never
played
stay
with the
healthy.
same body part.
Yeah.
Hey, Tori, is Aaron Rodgers going to be the biggest what if for Packers when he leaves this year?
No, because he's
ManHourRadio.com.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson tonight. You can find us all on Twitter at manhour_Combs, manhour_Tori, and of course manhour_Buck. I need to edit my name because I am on basically my temporary computer right now because my other computer crashed right before the show started, and that's why we were a little late to start the show tonight. So Tori, I was asking you a little bit about Aaron Rodgers, and I was curious. I saw some news earlier today that Aaron Rodgers renewed his golf membership in Green Bay. Does that mean he is going to stay around?
There was never any.
We never really care about Aaron Rodgers, Tori, because we talked to him about 2 weeks last week. That's twice in a row we've gotten Tori Combs.
You know, I've got to throw out a quick off-script shout out here.
Do it.
Shout out to David Ross, the manager of the Cubs. Javier Baez. Cubs are down 1-0. Anthony Rizzo hits a lazy pop fly to left field. Baez doesn't pick it up. 1 out in the inning. Starts rounding the bases like there's 2 outs in the inning. Gets thrown out at first for a double play. Goes into the dugout. Now, Javier Baez is one of the Cubs' best defenders, one of their, best hitters. He's a leader. And David Ross goes up to him in the clubhouse, has a word with him, and sends him to the showers. Doesn't even sit on a bench. Sends him to the showers and puts Alcantara in the game. I love seeing stuff like that. Look, you've got to, especially in a one-run game, your team hasn't been playing very well the last week, and you're supposed to be a leader of this ball club. Get your head on. Get your head on straight. And when a manager does that, I love seeing it. I'll never forget the time that we saw the Braves when Bobby Cox did it to Andrew Jones.
Yep.
And he laughed when he made an error, and he pulled Andrew Jones right in the middle of the inning. As soon as he saw him laughing, he came up to the top of the steps and told him to get his butt in the dugout. I love it when a manager does that. So a lot of props to David Ross.
All right, so since we're on the baseball topic here, Combs, we have some baseball news popping up. I believe it's starting tomorrow. So tell us a little bit about what is happening in baseball right now.
Yeah, so it actually started today with the checking of pitchers for foreign substances. They are going to make sure that pitchers are no longer using sticky substances on their fingers, something that has been the worst kept secret in baseball of all time. It's been done ever since like the early 1800s, since baseball was invented. And they got called out on it about a month ago, and because they got called out of it, now they're doing what baseball always does, and they're going to throw their players under the bus and wash their hands of the situation. Yeah. So what you're telling me is you're going to suspend players 10 games for using a sticky substance so they don't drill a guy in the head with a 102-mile-an-hour fastball, but you're not going to suspend the Houston Astros for using video footage to steal signs. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and as Javier come out and said, that is so stupid, Combs. That's what your exact words were on pre-show here of how stupid it actually was. So, Tori, do you think this is going to hurt the no-hitters because we saw 8 no-hitters in the month of April? I believe it was. Do you think that is going to do you think that is going to affect the no-hitters moving forward and the pitching performances?
I'm sticking by my earlier statement on all of this stuff. I think a lot of it still has to do with the dead and ball stuff. I don't think it's gonna drop it off too much. I mean, because there again, guys were still hitting home runs. It's not like every game was a pitching duel. Right. But I still think it's the dead and ball. So
well, what about what Pete Alonso said? What Pete Alonso said, that he came out and said baseball, and this is a fact, he says. He says it's not just him saying stuff. He says this is a known fact around the game that depending on the free agent class, baseball will alter the ball depending on who the free agent class is that year. Do you believe that?
I would 100% believe that because to me, baseball commissioner is probably as crooked as boxing is.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I believe it depending on which way it goes. I mean, if you're if you're altering the ball because you're trying to give these guys who are having humongous years, you're trying to get them to not have such a humongous year, so you pay them less. I would believe that, but not trying to help them out so that they play better, hit more home runs. I think that if you did that, that would cost the owners more money. So I wouldn't believe it that way.
But you gotta look at the last couple of years though. Like the MLB hot stove has never not been quite the hot stove. Like how many guys did we watch linger, like big name free agents linger to right before training or spring training starting before they got signed? That's how the Brewers have been picking people up. That's how they got Moustakas. They got him for basically peanuts. That's how they picked up Yasmani Grandal. I don't think it's so much that, but I could kind of see it because now the year that Harper and Machado were going to be free agents, they raked. I could see that. Like you could probably see, like depending on that free agent class,
Yeah, but they didn't get signed till what, late December, early January though, right? Both of those guys.
Yeah, it seemed like it was awful late.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's just it's because of the big contracts that the players are demanding now, but look, 10 years or 13 years at 300, 400, however $100 million you're giving these guys is a lot of money to commit to. And these other names aren't going to go until the bigger names go. You're not going to go out and you're not going to sign a Tyler Naquin when, Bryce Harper is out there. You're not going to go and sign a smaller name right fielder or position player when a bigger name is out there. I'm not going to go out there this year if Chris Bryant's on the market. I'm not signing Mike Moustakas until Chris Bryant is off the market, because if I still got a chance at Chris Bryant, why am I going after Mike Moustakas? So I think that's why a lot of these things go, and the money that the guys are commanding now, which again, I don't blame them. I always advocate that the players are more underpaid than they are overpaid, but I don't know. I think that baseball with the sticky substance thing, I just think that they're throwing the players under the bus. They're washing the hands of the thing like, look at us. You guys said there's sticky substances. We didn't know, but if there is, we're going to end it. Bull crap. You knew there were sticky substances. You've known for years and years and years.
Jalapeno on my nose.
Yeah, what about what was his face? Michael Pineda. The guy freaking had the lights, like you could see the actual physical like reflection of the umpire as he was talking to him in his neck. With the amount of stuff that he had on his neck. Yeah. It was clear as day. You see these pictures. I see it all the time when I'm watching Cubs games, when I'm watching Craig Kimbrell pitch. You watch him, he circles the mound, he puts his two fingers in the palm of his glove every single time. Because he's got something in there to help him with his spin rate. Because he's got something in there to help him with his control. You watched what's his name? Chapman from the Yankees the other night end a game on 103.2 mile an hour fastball. Okay? Imagine if he doesn't have anything on his fingers to control that, because when you're throwing 103 miles an hour, you don't have control over where the ball's going. You just don't. I'm sorry, people will argue that till they're Major League Baseball players that can control that. No, okay? Try taking a ball and throwing it into a cup by just tossing it. And then try throwing it into that same cup, throwing it at 103 miles per hour. I bet you your rate of making it into the cup is a lot better when you're throwing the ball slower than it is when you're throwing the ball harder. And if somebody gets hit in the face with a 103 mile an hour fastball because you don't allow him to put a sticky substance on his hand, then that's going to be on baseball. I'm so tired of baseball playing the role of, we didn't know. And this stupid commissioner that we got now, the worst commissioner in sports history, is ruining the game. And now he wants to tell me that you can't suspend the Houston Astros, who admitted to using video surveillance to cheat to win a World Series. But you're going to suspend a pitcher 10 games for putting pine tar in his glove? Give me a break.
And that's only for first offense. And that's first offense. Like they can get their third offense, like they get tossed for the season, I think.
It's not really a suspension. It's a 10-game paid vacation. Yeah. They still get paid for their suspension. So you can suspend me for 10 games. I'll go home with pay.
So let me ask you this question here, because like I saw a comment here from Mr. Wyatt Williams, and like himself, saying this is a sticky substance era.
Every era is
So-
a sticky substance era,
so-
though. They've been doing this
so-
for a long time.
Well, but you know, like now it is deemed illegal, right? So let's say a pitcher gets ejected for having sticky substance on his hat or his glove or something to that effect. Do you think these pitchers get the same treatment as the steroid guys do, like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Sammy? Like,
No.
do you think they get that type of treatment when like Hall of Fame comes crawling around? Let's say Jacob deGrom, we just talked about him. He has pine tar on his hat. Then like the very next start, and he gets ejected. Do we have to put an asterisk by his name when Hall of Fame comes up?
No, I mean, people will talk about it because it's something to talk about, but no, I don't even believe the steroid era needs asterisk next to his name. I believe that the steroid era is the greatest era in baseball history. I believe the greatest player in baseball history came out of the steroid era, Barry Bonds. The steroid era, everybody in their mother knew they were using steroids. Sammy Sosa was all of, 6 feet tall, 108 pounds, soaking wet when he entered the league with the Texas Rangers. By the time he got out of the league, his forearms were bigger than my face. So everybody knew that he was using steroids. Mark McGwire was just as big when he came into the league.
Baseball back. What brought baseball back after the strike?
Steroid era. It was Sosa McGwire.
Steroid era. Sosa McGwire got people interested in baseball.
And how much money did baseball make off of that? Billions with a
Millions
B.
and billions. Yes.
So are you saying that the sticky substance era is bringing baseball back? Is it going to be top dog?
No, it's not bringing
No.
baseball back. Baseball was already back.
No, it wasn't.
This
Baseball's fallen
cheating,
off. Let's
this
just be honest.
baseball pitchers using sticky substances goes back to even Babe Ruth's era. How many times were guys were known? Cy Young was known to have a piece of sandpaper in his glove
Yeah, stitched into his
to
glove.
scuff the ball. Like it's been going on for years and years and years. And I see Javier in there with all sports cheat. I agree with you. I agree with you to, if you're not trying to gain a competitive advantage, you're not trying to win. And if you're not going to try to gain that competitive advantage, then something's wrong with you. And these guys using I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a lot more hit batters with this stuff being on. And it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And it's going to cost somebody their life or their career before they decide, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and let them use those sticky substances.
Okay, so let's go ahead and shift gears back over to the NFL here. Dak Prescott has officially been he has rehabbed and is back at starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. So, Tori, I'm going to kick this question over to you first. Can Dak Prescott lead the Dallas Cowboys to the Super Bowl this season?
Dak Prescott can lead a team to the Super Bowl. I don't think it's going to be the Cowboys because their coach sucks. So I think Dak will eventually make a Super Bowl. I do not, but I do think a lot of it has to do with the coaching staff. Mike McCarthy has not changed that offense in 15 years. So people are hip to it. People are onto it. The reason that they're going to win ball games is because of Dak Prescott, because of Dak Prescott's arm and the amount of weapons that he has on that offense. People are going to know exactly what's coming, but you're not going to be able to stop it with those type of players and that type of athlete at quarterback. Considering, or if he comes back at 100% from that ankle, we'll see if he's timid on it. We've seen some footage of him practicing him already. So I don't think he's going to have that big of an issue with it, but it's all when the bullets start flying, your mentality could change. You could be all fun and games, like have all the confidence in that ankle in the world. It's going to take him getting hit a couple of times and him going down and maybe rolling that ankle a couple of times and knowing he's okay before he really gets into it. I do not think he leads the Cowboys to a Super Bowl this year. I think he could within the next 5 years, but they need to have a different coach in there.
So, I'm going to kick it to Combs here in a minute, but you kind of skimmed over that first part there when you said you think Dak Prescott will win a Super Bowl, just not with the Cowboys. Are you predicting Dak Prescott going to somewhere else?
It's the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. If they don't get their way, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, for God's sakes, they had Drew Henson as the quarterback at one
Is it
point.
a Aaron Rodgers for Dak Prescott trade?
No, it's not.
That'd be a great trade for
God,
Cowboys.
that would be a great trade for the Packers right now. What are you kidding me? If you're telling me you wouldn't make that trade right now, you're lying through your
Love
teeth,
is
Tori
love.
Anderson.
Love is love. You heard it.
You
here
don't even
first.
believe that.
Hashtag love is love.
So, Combs, can Dak Prescott win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys this season?
Yes, I think the NFC is not very stacked like the AFC is. There's still a hurdle of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I still believe that they're going to be good. I still believe the New Orleans Saints are going to be good. So I do believe that they are going to be very good. I think the Cowboys are going to be a competitive team. I think they're going to be a tough out. I think that last year, I think they would have had an even better shot to win a Super Bowl. And so I do. I believe that they've got an opportunity. They're one of the three best teams in the NFC.
One of the best three teams. Like, so who are the other two teams? Like, you have the Saints and the Bucks, or
Yeah,
who are the other two teams?
Saints,
name
Bucks,
six-
and
I can name 6 teams better than the Cowboys right now. Literally the entire NFC West.
That's a lie.
yeah,
No. Who's worse than the Cowboys in the NFC West?
Giants football team. And
Seahawks.
The West.
The West, not the East.
Oh, the West.
Jesus Christ!
You got the
Well, the
Cardinals.
Cowboys
you
will
got the
beat
Seahawks.
the
You got the
Cardinals.
Rams.
The Cowboys will beat the Cardinals. The Cowboys are
No.
better than the.
That's the
than
other team. So they're
49ers.
fourth best team. The Cardinals are there too. They're better than the Cowboys.
And then you have the Buccaneers and the Packers. So there's 6 teams right there that are better than the Cowboys.
Cardinals, Bucks, and Saints. And stop talking about your Packers. Jordan Love isn't going to beat anybody.
This is the same Tory that said that the Washington football team was going to go 13-4.
Yeah,
This
But-
is also
Exactly.
true. I
but-
forgot. I did
But
forget
then he
about
doesn't
that,
even
so let's
have
put
them
up
better
there.
than the Cowboys.
No, I said I can name 6 teams that are better than the Cowboys.
and none of them are in the NFC East, a division he doesn't even have the Cowboys winning.
So, like, I know this is way too early, but who do you guys have winning the Super Bowl this year?
Doritos.
Oh, man.
Because the commercials are usually good. Oh,
Last year was horrible commercials.
I didn't even watch the Super Bowl last year. Who do I have winning it? I'm just gonna go off script because they're so downtrodden and so awful. I'm taking the Browns. We're gonna get in the Browns hype train this year.
I'm going with the same conference, but I'm going with the team who last went to the Super Bowl. It was their 4th straight time, and they lost a 4th straight time. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl this year.
You guys are both wrong because the Browns won't even make the playoffs. The Bills are the first round exit.
You're out of your mind. Get out of here.
If the Bills are lower than a 2 seed, it's a travesty.
Javier
Kansas City
says
Royals-
Chicago
Kansas
is
City
going to
Royals
the
play baseball.
playoffs. Look, I love the enthusiasm, Javier, but no, they're not. I mean, that schedule
sorry,
is
Tamba.
ridiculous. I
Tamba Hali.
I do believe, however, that Justin Fields is going to start week 1.
Andy Dalton's a top 15 quarterback in this. I'm just kidding.
I do believe Justin Fields is going to start week 1.
What gives you that belief?
Because why wouldn't you start the best quarterback on your roster? If you don't start the best quarterback on your roster week 1, then you're going to lose your locker room. It's the quickest way to lose your locker room. Everybody on the field knows coming out of training camp who the best quarterback on the field is. And if you don't start that quarterback heading into week 1 and you're not winning football games, you're going to lose the locker room quick. And 2, I know people sit there and talk all the time. Oh, you can't start, you got to ease them in. You can't just feed them to the wolves. Bull crap. Because you know what? You could talk to me till you're blue in the face about, you want to throw in the Pat Mahomes and his comparison when he was there, and so was God, what was the starting quarterback at the time's name?
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. They talk about that comparison. The difference is Alex Smith was the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs when he got drafted, and they were a winning football team. And they were still a winning football team with Alex Smith the year that he sat. And then they let Alex Smith go, and they started Patrick Mahomes. That was a huge difference. Not only that, but he was like Alex Smith had taken them to a Super Bowl. So it's not one of those. It's not the same comparison. Andy Dalton was with the Bears for like 3 days before they drafted Justin Fields. So it's not the same comparison. And two, people will say, oh, well, how many times have you seen a guy thrown to the Wolves who hasn't succeeded? I can't tell you a time where you've fed a guy to the Wolves and he didn't succeed because he was thrown to the Wolves. He didn't succeed because he wasn't an NFL quarterback. But I can tell you of times where a guy has come in too early in his rookie season, had a bad rookie season, and then gone on to be great. Peyton Manning. You know, there's way more of those stories than guys who have started too early and not been great because they weren't good quarterbacks. And there are, of the other side of the fence. It's just you can't tell me that you're not going to go with Justin Fields because he's the best quarterback on the team. But it's too soon. It's too soon. That's stupid. If he's the best quarterback coming out of training camp, then he's the best quarterback on your team, and you start him week 1.
So what has given you the perception that Justin Fields is better than Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton's career.
Okay.
He's not a ginger.
Andy Dalton has an NFL career. Justin Fields doesn't yet.
Andy Dalton has a career of losing in the NFL.
He has been an average win-loss quarterback throughout his career. Yes.
He's been a below average.
No, he hasn't. He has.
No, he's actually got a winning record. As
Yeah,
a starting
like
quarterback.
I believe his tenure at the Bengals, he only had 2 losing seasons, and they were like 7-9 seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
All right,
think he had
so
maybe like 1-5-12 season, maybe.
Are you saying that if Justin Fields goes out and has and outperforms Andy Dalton all through training camp, all through preseason, you would still start Andy Dalton week 1?
100%.
You lose your locker room.
Why?
And you lose your job. This is a make or break
gonna block
season.
for him?
This is a make or
Who's
break
gonna
season
block
for that
for
coaching staff and for that front office. It's a make or break season, and you're going to hang that on Andy Dalton if Justin Fields tears it up in the preseason and in training camp? That's stupid. You're committing career suicide.
Hang on, Combs. See, you are on two opposite spectrums here because he is performing against players that are going to be bagging groceries in like a week. And you're in shoulder pads and like a helmet. You are throwing against air, and you're outperforming Andy Dalton in that aspect. But then you go to the combine, and you're like, I don't care that they're running fast and shorts. Like, you are on polar opposites here. I mean, show me that in an NFL game, in a regular season NFL game, and then I might believe you. But right now, Andy Dalton has to be your starter.
So if he goes out and performs in the training camp and he performs well in preseason, how does he show you that in the regular season NFL game unless you give him the chance to show you an NFL regular season game?
Andy Dalton has to suck the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season for Justin Fields to get a shit.
Have you seen the schedule? They're gonna suck. No matter who's their quarterback, the Bears are not going to the Super Bowl this year. They've got the toughest schedule in the NFL.
I am talking about his performance. I mean, like, not his stats, but his performance. Is he making good decisions? Is the team rattling behind him?
So what you're saying is you would sit Justin Fields the entire season then?
Yes, let him learn defense.
No, that's stupid.
Let him learn how to go to his second.
All right, so then what? So then next year he still hasn't played in an NFL game. It's still the same position that he's in now.
But he's got a year in that playbook. He's got a year to learn the NFL defense. He's got a year to get up to speed. You know, the thing is you throw him in, like you say, like, don't throw him in there to the Wolves. Look at David Carr. David Carr was an NFL quarterback. It was not his fault. He got the living hell beat out of him on a weekly basis.
Here's the difference.
The man was sacked like 100 times in like the first 2 years in the league.
No, because here's why. If you're Matt Nagy, you're on the hot seat. If you go 4-13 in this schedule with an Andy Dalton who's making the right decisions, who's playing well, who's doing everything he can to help you try to win football games, and you're just not winning, you're out of there. If you bring in Justin Fields, who's doing the same thing, and you go 4-13 in that same season with Andy Dalton or with Justin Fields, who's making all the right decisions, making all the right reads, doing everything he can to help you win, you're getting another year or two.
They bought themselves another year. I will tell you why. Because of their draft. They had such
they
a good
bought
draft
themselves this year, not next year.
They bought themselves basically a freebie for this year to draft. They got the guys that they wanted. They get to develop him now because Matt Nagy never had the quarterback that was his. So they are going to give him the bye this year. He will get a
You
pass.
just don't want to see Justin Fields playing because you don't want him beating the Packers twice.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see Justin Fields play. I'm looking forward to watching him play. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. I think it's gonna be awful for me because Aaron's gonna retire soon, so then we got to go against Fields. But there again, hashtag love is love.
That is the dumbest thing ever. But Combs, just to add to Troy's point there, like if you start Justin Fields week 1 and he goes 4-12 this season, you are no longer out of your free year, right? Just because you had your quarterback, you had time to develop him, and you thought he was the best option moving forward. If you really want your free year, like Tori said, you have to start Andy Dalton at least 13 games this season to really get that free year and to really watch Justin Fields develop as a quarterback.
You watch Justin Fields develop on the field. Not with the practice squad, not with waiting, because then next year, what are you going to say next year? Well, we still got Justin Fields. We still don't know how he is in NFL games, but you throw him in, you let him play, you let him show you what he's got, and he's either got it or he doesn't. His record does not matter this year. They are up against the Wolves. They are playing the best of the best in the NFL. I think they're playing like the next 10 Super Bowl champions in all of their games this year.
So let me ask you this
it's
question,
absolutely ridiculous. But if Justin Fields comes in and is making all the right reads, tearing up, let's say he's performing at a Deshaun Watson type level, but they're just not that good, and they're just not going to win that many games this year. You've got that quarterback to build around. But if you don't, and you still go 4-13 under freaking Andy Dalton, what do you got? You don't know. It's dumb to think that you have to start Andy Dalton. You're committed to Andy Dalton, who you signed 30 seconds ago. It's not like he came in and he was the starting quarterback last year or for the last 3 years or the last 5 years. He wasn't even their quarterback last year. You're not committed to Andy Dalton. You're committed to the guy who you traded up to draft.
You aren't committed to him, no. But if you want a longevity of Justin Fields' career, if you want an 18-year career out of Justin Fields, you do not start him this season at all.
Nope.
Why? What happens when the Chargers started their guy last year?
That was just a fluke.
They caught fire, right? What happened when the Bengals started their quarterback last year? Other than the fact that he got hurt, how was he doing before he got hurt?
That's because they had no other quarterback.
Pretty damn well.
They had no
so
other
what?
They didn't sign another guy and say, but they didn't sign.
They were still rookie quarterbacks who came in and performed well.
But you're trying to compare apples to oranges.
No, you're not. You're comparing apples to apples. I'm comparing rookie quarterbacks who performed well to rookie quarterback who can perform well.
You're selecting a narrative and focusing on that. The Joe Burrow one. Joe Burrow had nobody there. They knew he was coming in. They were handing him the reins. That is completely different than the Bears going saying, hey,
what do you mean? Dalton. They traded up to 11 to draft Justin Fields. He knows he's getting the reins whether it's this year or next year. He knows that he's going in. If he goes in and wins this job and doesn't get it, he still knows that he's better than Andy Dalton. Everybody in the locker room knows he's better than Andy Dalton.
He's better than Andy Dalton right now. But you let him sit. You let him learn.
No,
you let him
that's
not
stupid.
Get his confidence wrecked.
That is a
It's
dumb
not-
idea.
You don't want your rookie quarterback to learn how to read a defense. Instead, you want him to go in there and throw 3 interceptions.
Yes, I want him to learn how to read a defense while reading a defense. Why is that so hard? On the job training.
No. It's a proven. It's
Why?
proven that quarterbacks
It's not
develop
proven.
better
When?
if you let them sit. Steve
When?
McNair, Aaron Rodgers. You let quarterbacks sit. Like you bring up Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert wasn't the starter week 1. Tyrod Taylor was. The only reason Herbert went in there is because Tyrod Taylor got his lung punctured by the team doctor. Otherwise, they were going to let him sit that year. They basically wrote that year off because they're like, screw it, we're just going to ride with Tyrod. Let Justin Herbert learn. That's where I say you're trying to compare apples to oranges. It's a completely different situation. They literally brought a guy in. They brought in a guy to be the starter for this year. They know Andy Dalton is a rental for 1 year. They know that for a fact.
Good. Rent him as a backup. He'd be a great backup. If Justin Fields doesn't perform, Justin Fields gets hurt, you've got a good backup to go to.
Hey, how did Andy Dalton do as a backup in Dallas?
How did Andy Dalton do as a quarterback in Dallas?
Not very good.
I thought he
was
died
a-
like 3 times.
But I'm saying Andy Dalton is not a good backup.
He's not a good quarterback. Period.
He's top 15. Come on.
Get
You know
Sick. All right, me and Brandon agree on that you're nuts.
We'll be right back,
You guys are both wrong.
Shop Talk coming up here on the Man Hour. If you guys want to talk about anything, let us know in the comments. YouTube.com/Man Hour is where we'll be pulling those from. So check us out. We'll be right back after this short little intermission. I love you guys.
What is your name?
What?
What is your name?
Fuck.
Where did you get that shirt?
It's funny that you should ask that. Head over to manhourradio.com. You can pick up the shirt up. $15.
Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson as well. Let's bring Combsy back onto the show here as Tori is coming a little bit back from break. Oh, there's Mr. Tori Anderson himself, guys. So
Hey,
our first day.
some of us are diabetic. I had to check my sugar.
Oh, are you still sweet?
Oh, is that why your take was
I
so
am.
horrible last segment?
No, is it?
At least you have an excuse. Buck has nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing.
He stuttered.
What'd you say?
He stuttered over his words.
Oh. So when you guys come in here, let me know VIP. So Javier is inviting us down to South Beach, guys. I believe that's where he's from, and we can go out there and party.
Look, I am down.
I am all about that Miami scene. Let's do it.
I have to ask the old ball and chain, I guess, but I guess I'll.
No, you don't. I gave you permission. What did they
If
tell
you
you? Don't-
just go,
don't
you
ever
can
listen
ask
to
for
the-
forgiveness when you get back.
Right. The best advice
Cindy,
I can give you is don't ever listen.
weekend. I'm gonna have some random people babysit the kids, and I'll be back.
Just
Yeah.
don't. Just bring the kids with you. Don't tell her.
I mean, I'll be in jail, man. Those boys get naked like just like that, man.
I
They
know
fit
they'll be
right
running
in
down
South
South
Beach.
Beach. They'll fit right in.
Right? People
So-
be cheering on like, yeah.
They'll be the life of the party. What are you kidding me?
Probably. My boys are pretty awesome. So during that segment, guys, last before break, we were saying like I'm rolling through the comments here, and Drew says that Justin Fields will end up like Burrow with the torn
Come on.
ACL.
Look, if he tears his ACL, that's a chance you take. That's a chance you take. So what if he tears his ACL his first game of next year?
I mean, they have Andy Dalton still.
No, next year they won't.
But that's what I'm saying. It's there's
have
always a
Mark
risk
Brunell.
of getting injured when you're on the field. You take that
Bill-
risk every time you step on the field. So if you're afraid of him getting hurt, then he never starts in his NFL career. You just sit him on the bench and let people talk about how good he could be if you would ever let him play.
Well, that's what they're saying about Jordan Love, right? But nonetheless, Drew also says the Bears have zero protection for him. Like,
I disagree.
True.
The
It's
Bears have
embarrassing.
a better offensive line than you think. They drafted a left tackle
That's what I
in the second round, a very good left tackle in the second round. This team is better than people think. Do I think that they're going to the playoffs like Javier says? I don't believe it. I think they got too tough of a schedule, but they can protect and they can win some games that they shouldn't win with Justin Fields under center.
but it won't be against the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are going 10-7
Shut
this season.
the hell up.
So as far as this next comment, I'm not for sure who OJT is.
On the job training.
On the job training.
Oh,
Come on,
okay.
man.
Sorry, man. I'm not old.
It will not get him. It'll get him experience. Stop with it'll get him. If you're afraid to let your quarterback play, then you're never going to let him play. Get him on the field. Let's see what he's got.
True. So, actually, Drew, we were actually going to talk about the NBA here, like a little bit, but I'm
What's the
so
NBA?
off my game by on my other computer here. But Drew says, who do you guys think will win the Suns and Clippers series? The Suns did win Game 1. However, Kawhi did not play for the Clippers. So, Tor, I'm going to kick it to you first. Who do you think is going to win this series?
Oh, I think without Kawhi, the Clippers have a chance, but I still got to. I picked the Suns to be the favorite out of the West at the beginning, and I'm sticking with my pick. It all depends on them too when they get Chris Paul back. As right now, he's listed out as indefinitely, so he's probably going to be out at least 2 weeks. So, hey, we had to talk about your baseball.
Sorry, guys.
And with that, we will continue our talk on.
Wait, we're talking the
basketball.
NBA. All right, hold on. I'll go back to bed.
So I think that the Suns are still the favorite in the West. That lineup still has plenty of firepower without the point guard. You still got Devin Booker, who's probably he's a superstar in this league, but he's probably one of the underrated superstars if you ask me.
Well, this is his first NBA series, also Tori, and he has 3 40-point games so far, which is second all time on the list or something like that.
If anybody deserves it, it's him, because Phoenix has suffered for so many years as just an awful team.
And he's from Kentucky, so I am wearing my Kentucky hat tonight. So, Combs, I know you're not into baseball or basketball, I should say. But who you got winning this series? Suns or Clippers?
The Bears. 72 to -3.
And just like that, Combsy.
No, I'm just joking. I'm gonna take the Suns. I think Devin Booker. Yeah, I think Devin Booker is actually not an underrated superstar. I think he's one of the best players in the NBA right now. I think Devin Booker is a bona fide stud. I think that he is going to carry the Suns to an NBA championship this year.
So let me ask you this question, guys. So Chris Paul, I don't know if he got COVID or the contact tracing thing, but he is out indefinitely with the COVID protocol things. LeBron James violated the COVID protocols in the first round of the playoffs, but nothing happened to him whatsoever. Do you think it's like Chris Paul sitting out or being forced to sit out is kind of like a double standard almost?
I don't think so, because we don't know the facts surrounding everything. It could have been like somebody had a false positive that LeBron, and they said, okay, never mind, it was a false positive. You don't have to sit. So if we had all the facts and we knew absolutely everything, I don't think Chris Paul broke protocol. It just said he came into contact with somebody that potentially had COVID.
Right.
So they're sitting him for the 2 weeks that they require when it comes to it. So it's probably somebody that he does know probably did have a positive test. They're doing it precautionary, even if he never develops any symptoms. The LeBron thing, there again, like I said, it could have been a false positive where they did it. They said, oh my God, they tested positive. They waited 24 hours, tested them again, and it came back negative. Like, oh, okay, never mind, it's a negative.
Yeah, but if Chris Paul tests as negative, what's the big deal?
I don't know. I'm not Adam Silver.
Let me ask you guys a question. What's going to be more, the amount of points scored in the next game with the Suns and the Clippers, or the amount of people that are actually going to watch the game? Have you seen the ratings for these NBA playoff games?
I have not.
They are down so much. It is ridiculous. Nobody is watching the NBA playoffs.
Do you want to know why they're down?
Because there's no New York Knicks, there's no Boston Celtics, there's no Los Angeles Lakers. Like a lot of the marquee teams are not in it. You have small market teams except for the Clippers. Yeah. Well, but the thing is, you have small market teams except for the Los Angeles Clippers. So right now you have the Atlanta Hawks left, you have the Milwaukee Bucks, you have the
They're
Phoenix
a small
Suns.
market team in a big market, though. The Clippers.
This is true. But Jim Rome put it best when it comes to that. Nobody in LA cares about the sports teams unless they're good.
Yeah, but I just think that nobody's watching because it's just a watered down product right now. Nobody plays defense. You're watching games. I was watching. I turned it over, and it was the first quarter. It was like 47-44. It's the first freaking quarter, and they had already scored 90 points in the game.
See, I don't think that is the case because people like scoring. I think the issue is the. Honestly, it's the whole Black Lives Matter and the tweeting of the LeBron James, like when that white cop shot that black girl for stabbing that girl. I think that is the real reason is we're tired of, all the racial stuff that's happening with the NBA.
Yeah, but baseball's done stuff with it. NFL's done stuff with it. Like it's not like they didn't lose.
But the NBA has been the big.
The NFL has too, though. I mean, come on. The NFL's had a big push. They had it in the end zone all year long in every game that you watched.
I'm not talking about that. Let's flash back to last year in the playoffs when they stopped the playoffs because they were going to. Yeah. Because
I agree. The NBA's been higher on it, but other sports have gotten into it too, and they didn't lose viewership. They didn't lose sponsorships.
Because they aren't trying to push the agenda. I mean, simply putting Black Lives Matter.
You could be right.
I mean, just like I feel like the NBA is really trying to push that agenda on us.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. There's a lot of things right now in the world that get pushed on you, and that's just kind of the day and age we live in. I think it has to do more with the product, though. Yes, some of it I think does have to do with what they're pushing and the political agendas that they push and all that other good stuff. But I think that the product itself is not as entertaining as it used to be. For me anyway. That's one of the big reasons why I'm not a fan anymore.
It also could be because we've been saturated with like basketball too, because like we basically had a full calendar year of
basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I would agree with that, because then all of a sudden we got sandwiched in there. You had the NBA trying to get the rest of their season in. We had March Madness going on. Normally there's a little bit of time to decompress there, and all of a sudden, like, we went from NCAA tournament till like a month later we were starting the NBA playoffs when, you know, the NBA, like you said, we basically went an entire straight year of basketball. And I think a lot of it could be that it could be viewer fatigue at that point where it's just like, ugh. But I think more personally, just because of the teams that are left, there's no marquee teams. There's none of the, like, it's small market teams that are left that have a lot smaller viewer base, you know, like for like the Bucks, like they get a good international crowd because of Giannis. So they view well in Greece, but you know, outside of Wisconsin, are they going to view well? No. The Hawks. Nobody cares about the Hawks outside of Atlanta. Nobody cares about.
Nobody cares about the Hawks inside Atlanta.
So it's. I think that has a lot to do with it. Is that there is not the teams in there that would typicily be there. I guarantee you, if you had a Lakers or a Celtics, it would be a totally different story for viewership wise because they'd be quote unquote the legacy teams in there.
Yeah, and what's the deal with Atlanta coming back versus the Sixers? Doesn't Atlanta know they're the team that's supposed to blow leads and not, you know, come back from them?
I think that's the 76ers, to be honest with you. Because
apparently,
Simmons is great for 3 quarters and his butthole puckers on the floor.
Did you see his stats for the series in the fourth quarter? Shooting wise, like the game 1, he was like 2 for 2. Game 2 was like 0 for 0. Game 3 was 1 for 1. And then game 4 through 7 was 0.
Yeah.
So, Tori, I didn't even think about this, but viewer fatigue might be a real thing. Because if you think about this, Combs, like hockey games we're starting like at 8:00 in the morning, right? Like there was one time when we had like all 4 major sports on from like 8:00 in the morning to like 2 o'clock.
I loved every second of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I did too, but like now we're like, man, I just need a break, you know?
No. You could give me baseball all year long, I'm going to watch. You give me hockey all year long, I'm going to watch.
But
you give me basketball one night a week, and I'm missing it.
You got to remember, 90%, I don't care what sport it is, 90% of fans are casual fans.
Right.
Yeah.
10% are the hardcore. They are the ones that live, eat, breathe, die, sleep our teams. But you know, 90%, most of them don't care. Like if they see it, they see it. If not, they'll look up the score on their phone. They don't care if they see it or not. You know, I think that has a lot to do with it. It's like I said, for me with the NBA, I just think a lot has to do with the teams that are left, though. It makes the most sense because you don't have any major market except for the LA market left in the playoffs.
You got the Nets. Never mind.
I thought that series was over when the Bucks went 0-2. I'm like, this is done. We're gonna get swept out of the playoffs.
Tori, I actually so the clip that we did about the Bucks after they did 0-2,